YouTube. Here's a question I have for you. How is gold made? And the answer is minerals. Gold is a mineral. Right, so looking at my shining, pretty bright TV, in there is a picture of the Australian survivor. And the answer is the sky must be empowered, EM, empowered. And what it does is it generates great high electricities. And those, so you need some sort of sonic that will affect, or light laser or something, that will affect the clouds to energize. And when the clouds energize, so they have this thing called HARP, and it energizes the clouds using some sort of electrolytic affecting laser. What that does is it forces the lightning to strike the sea, and the sea has many minerals, but they become solidified. That's what almost is. It's really a matter of changing gas into solid. The reason why on a beach that there's rocks is because the gas has become made into a solid. So how does that happen? Well, salt evolves and makes a sodium hydroxide. So electrocute salt and it will create this hydroxide material. When salt gets electrocuted by lightning, it instantly clumps the gases together. On a cold night with lightning and rain, lightning will cause the salt in the sea, which stirs up, gets up near the surface, and that's where the clumping begins. So on the Earth's environment, it's the top part of the water that is the positive. So therefore, when the lightning strikes the sea, there is a conduit called salt in the water. And there's the bottom of the water, which is negative, and the top of the water, which is positive. Now, in the unearthed earthen jar, there is salt water, and the negative electrode is dominant in hydrogen production, but in the clumping. So you see the sea is mostly made out of negative, and only on the surface is a thin layer of positive. Knowing this and surface tension, if you had the same polarity, they would repel. But if you want to attract to the positive, which is all over the surface, you need the pure negative, which would make you absolutely electromagnet attracted to the surface. So you'd be stuck to the surface. And you need brimming current in order for it to create a pad, like a lily pad for you, of resistance, which would keep stable. It would have to be mastered correctly. So they have these pyrocarbon clothing, and they have plastic shoes. They're like pure pyrocarbon, and when you walk on the water, as long as you have a current of energy in your pockets, and they have been literally directed to go in the correct direction to create a north pole at the top and south pole at the bottom, but the current has to work in an arc as well as in a cyclic, like the apple core goes up through the center, fires out the top like a sprinkler fireworks, but then it comes down the walls and vacuums back up the bottom, and so that's thrusting downwards like a propulsion of a rocket. So here's proof of the solids. These rocks at the beach are the solids that are made via GANS clumping. Right? So in a jar, I can create colloiding, which is separating of solids into particles, and precipitate, which means the matter dropping to the bottom and clumping. But if you have a negative electrode, which is down below the positive electrode, then the negative electrode, though it's giving off gas, it's actually clumping, cramming and crushing. So with high voltage, like lightning, for example, it can create more minerals. So the reason why, they go around saying on Earth, oh, the minerals is all crapping out. Well, it's not absolutely true. The truth of the matter is, the Earth needs to make those minerals from what it has in space. And so, if the water attracts the gases in space, which come off of all plants, all rotting, and even from outer space, from humans letting off farts, there's all gas, and gas is just separated particles which are they're a transparent type of thing, but when they're pulled together closer, they become dense matter, and that's what the rocks are on the beach. They are the dense matter. But they also can be created back into gas. So the whole world could be turned back to gas. Just like Jupiter is a pretty little planet, and there's that other one, is it Jupiter? One of them is gas anyway, and so it's very possible for us to convert that planet into a solid using condensing, electrolytic condensing. The negative can be used to crush and clump, so that's what it is. The condensing is like a Coke bottle where you see droplets appearing on the outside, yet there's no moisture escaping the bottle. So the atmosphere is in the condensement is causing the clumping of the water molecules in the atmosphere, and they are attracted to the greater mass, just like smaller things are attracted to greater mass things. So that's what's going on. Long story. The thing is, that's how the magicians are wearing these beautiful clothes that help with conduction. They have a fuse on their pacemaker on their heart, and they are able, have trained themselves to tolerate right up to 40 kilovolts, which is the kill. So you need to be less than 40 kilovolts. And then that way, you see the security people zapping people with 500 volts and people are dying. So how is it that a man can tolerate far more than 500 volts, but into the kilovolts, but only below 40? So it goes to say that you could be hit with 1,000 volts, which is 1 kilovolt. And that can go up to 39 times. But a lot of men have died on the way to it. So you get some people that have a special fuse on their heart. And that fuse has to be one that won't burn out. Maybe they'll make some graphite fuse, which will not burn out, no matter if it reaches 4,000. So if a body can do that, it can train itself. According to what you consume, you can convert yourself into a matter that can withstand and tolerate that type of temperature. So what they do is they teach these magicians to fast, and then they get them to feed on nanomaterial that is heat tolerant beyond the temperature that you need to convert metals to purer metals. And you won't burn up. You won't be meat. You'll be something of a higher form. What you absorb, you are what you eat. Remember that. You are what you eat. So if you absorb iridium, you become iridium. If you absorb rhodium, you become rhodium. Now, above gold is iridium. So already, they've gone over 12,000 degree tolerance in their body. If you live your life taking those nanomaterials, those small metals of great purity, you get more toxic, but you have greater tolerance to electricity and fire. And so then it comes to working your way up to tungsten, which glows but does not melt. So if you can get nanotungsten into your body and convert yourself to nanotungsten, you will not catch on fire. You'll catch on fire, but you will not burn up. Alright, good luck, subscribe and like.